So I had a game. I played Reswitz yesterday,
Oh
and
yeah.
you remember you influenced my one of my dwarves away in our game on Friday, and then
Yep.
he influenced one of my elves away yesterday, and so today we had a rematch, and I went back and I stole one of his items from him. So it's been an influencing game back and forth for the last
Yeah.
3 days for me.
I
All
like
right.
it.
Huh?
You never heard from Chris, I take it?
I have not heard back. I check in every once in a while.
Uh, mm.
All right. So was it my turn or your turn?
I just scrolled down. It looks like it says I ended turn 10.
Okay. So you need
So I
to pass the
think,
turn.
is that right?
Do-
Would that be right?
yeah, that would be right. If you saved the game and ended the turn, it should go to me.
Right. Okay, so past turn.
Okay. All right. So I don't have any character points. I have a ring, but
But you haven't tested yet.
yeah, I haven't tested it yet. I'm looking at my discard pile just to see what I've spent. The Iron Hill Dwarf hold is in there from my faction.
Oh, so we're allowed to look at the discard pile
Yeah. Oh, yes.
anytime,
You
are
can
we?
look at your own discard pile anytime you want.
Yep.
Um, and occasionally
Uh,
people will do that to the play deck, and then they'll shuffle it. But that's kind of a rule breaker. Like just to say, oh well, I needed to make sure I had that card in there because
uh,
I haven't played this deck in a while, or something like that. You
yep. Yeah.
know. All right. So Gandalf is at the ring site. I think he's going to go back.
Are we taping?
Was I typing? No.
Taping. Are you recording?
Oh yeah, taping. Yes. Uh huh.
Yep. Yep. Very good.
All right. So I actually have I have 18 of my 20 influence free, with Beaufort being the only character taking up general influence. I remember I stupidly killed Dane and Gimli at the dragon site trying to force a play. And Balin was influenced away. So I've got a couple more characters in here, but I don't have them in hand. So I'm going to go ahead and move Gandalf. And he's going to go from Holland. So triple wilderness. And we draw one from the destination site or the site of origin.
And 2 hazard limit. Oh, and so both is just going to stay.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that. And also the long events should go away now.
I was getting to looking at those. Yes, because they're my hazards, so they go in your long event phase.
Right.
Minions stir. And more were not. Gosh.
There was a busy turn last turn.
What's that?
I said you had a busy turn playing hazards last turn, all the long events.
And the sun doesn't go until
that will go
my
on your
next turn.
Right.
Yep. So you would be getting, if you had Dunedain, you'd be getting +1.
Right.
Right. Okay. So
he has a hazard limit of 2. He's moving to a haven, and he's moving through triple wilderness. And then Beaufort will have his own separate hazard limit sitting at Lorien.
So what's the sequence? I'm going to say no hazard. So do I draw it back to?
So you do.
Or do I discard 8 before I press no hazards or after?
Either way, it doesn't really matter because there's not a checking mechanism at that point. You just go ahead and go to discard 1 and do no hazards, or other way around. That's fine. And then
I think actually I should have discarded 1. Yeah, then I don't get
8.
behind. Just 3.
And I'm going to discard 1. Since you said no more hazards, I know I also have to go to hand size.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
struggling to decide. Hang on. Right.
Oh, you've discarded. It looks like you're down to 7 now.
I thought I had 9. Right.
You had 9,
so
but I think you accidentally discarded twice instead of once.
Okay, right.
So just take take the last one back from the discard pile, and then if you'll hit next company.
Oh, yep. Next movement hazard.
So that just gives you the chance to say no more hazards again. And I would, at that point, after you said no more hazards on Gandalf, I move the starting site to my discard pile. And then I go over and I mouse over Bofer. So you know you have another company to play movement hazard cards, and I give you hazard limit of 2.
Right, but no cards drawn. So no hazards.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let them join up. I got rid of the second copy of the Haven.
Yep.
We go into the site phase. I have nothing to do, so I go to end of turn phase. I'll acknowledge end of turn discard. I'm just trying to make sure I'm torn between keeping the cards I've got and trying to draw my characters that are still in the deck. So I left the hazards what I've got.
I was just thinking I've got to be careful that I don't get into the situation again with the item points being more than half. And I've already got 5 scored.
I'm looking at your play deck. You have 1 card left, so you'll be going through, and at any point once you hit 20 points, you can call for the free council. But right now, you're at 15. I'm at 7. My deck has got plenty more to go through because I played that Favor of the Valar that let me sort of reset my deck.
Yep. So I'm just trying to work out my end of turn discard. No, I'm just going to go.
I wouldn't worry about item points. I think you can keep going after item points. You said you've got 5, but you have, let's see, you've got 2 miscellaneous, 1 kill, and 7 characters. So that means you can hold up to 5 more item points before it would start counting as more than half.
Yep. So I clicked on
nothing else. Okay, so I go to end of turn. Sorry.
Yep. Okay, so start turn. Untap all. Now I've picked up Denethor, so but my wizard's in play. So
he's at the way Denethor's home site. He's at Minas Tirith. So Denethor can come in right there. You've got if your numbers are right, you've got 7 free, and I think Denethor is a 5 mind. What is his mind? 6?
4.
Okay. So yeah, you could bring him in just directly in the column where Baragon is, and let Denethor take control of Baragon because he has 2 free and Baragon has a 2 mind.
Yeah, I'm just checking my total. I think it's not quite right. 6 and 5's 11, 12, and 2's 14. So at the moment it's 6 free. And if I bring him in, it'll be 2 free.
It will be 2 free, but then he can take direct control of Bergil, and so it will open back up to 4.
Okay, yep.
So play him in the column with Bergil.
Yep.
And then click on Bergil and say organize and re-click his column, and he'll move out to the bottom of it, or he'll move to the follower position.
Yeah. Yep, okay.
There you go.
And that'll reduce to 4 and an increase of a character point, I think.
Right.
For 10 and a 4, yeah.
And another sage, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is all working out well.
Right. So if you have another of the Align Palantir cards in your hand, what I would suggest, you've wrung everything out of Minas Tirith that you can get. You've brought characters in. You brought 2 characters in there. You've brought the Palantir in. The site is tapped. I would move that, and that whole... here's the thing.
Hang on.
The Fellowship are going to go away.
My Fellowships.
Yeah.
I just had the same thought.
If you'd rather not play him, if you'd rather keep the Fellowship, it's up to you. I forgot that they were there too, so you can think it through.
Oh no, I like to stick to the rule of cards played as a card played.
Okay.
It'll make me remember next time.
Yeah, I get that way sometimes too, but it's fair enough when you're not familiar, when you're playing a different deck, to know what your options are before you take a choice.
Yeah. No, I've scored it all up, so it'll make me remember.
Okay.
So
you will have.
So they come off.
Yeah, so that you can just drag them to the discard pile, one at a time. The trade-off here now is you have 5 characters in that company, so all of those extra characters can give +1 to your corruption checks if anyone has to make a corruption check. So the Fellowship is almost not as necessary once you start adding characters.
Right, okay.
But what I would do is I would consider moving them from Minas Tirith back to Lorien if you have a Align Palantir in your hand, and then that way you can align it once you're there, and then you can store it aligned. Yeah. And that's always a great thing to do because you got 5 points out of it, or 4 points out of it that way.
Yeah. All right. So Halberd has got an aligned one already. So can I?
He can store that. Yes, he can store that right now. You're in your organization phase.
But he would have to do a.
He would have a check at 4. Now, again, this is where you would take some of those other characters. Bergil would be the key character because he's not going to do any fighting. Tap him to give him a +1, maybe even a second character to give it a +2, so he just has to beat a 2 to store it.
I've got a friend of 3.
Oh, well, then that's all you need. You don't even need to tap anymore. Yeah. Just play that card, and he stores it automatically.
Okay, so I discard that.
So what I would do is I would click on. I would type score, and I would click the Align Palantir card first.
Okay.
And then I would do it again on the item. Nice. So corruption, no more corruption, no possibility of failing the check with the Friend or 3. I told you that's a card to keep in almost every deck.
Okay.
And now you're thinking about where you want to move everyone.
Well, I've just first of all I've got a Fellowship, so I could play it on the Dunedain because there's 4 of them at a haven.
Correct. That is correct. And there's no reason not to.
Picking up another. So I click on that,
and then click the Fellowship card. And does it let you play? Does it say choose a character to place this on?
Yep.
So anybody.
It doesn't matter. Okay, I'll put it on Halberd.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got another Palantir in my hand of Osgiliath. So it's a greater item.
Now, you got the one Palantir that you stored, you got at the Lossenden Cairn? Is that right? In the Forachel? It would be in your discard pile.
Oh, okay, I'll check. Lossenden Cairn.
Yes, okay. So you have to go to another greater item site if you've got this other Palantir. I think it is a greater item. Is that right?
I've actually got two. I've got that one, Osgiliath greater item, and I've got Orthanc.
Oh, okay. So you could go there if you wanted to. You can get there. You can get there from. Well, you wouldn't have played it because that's the only thing that would have tapped the site, I think.
Right. Yep. So I've got a choice. Now, let me see. So I'm at Lorien. So I've either got to go to Isengard or a greater item site.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or you could move the company with your wizard from Minas Tirith to Isengard. That's a 3-region move, and they could make it there. And then you could move the Dunedain with the Fellowship to a more dangerous greater item site to get the other Palantir.
Okay. Yes, because so there's no problem
with what?
With having two Palantirs in the one company.
No, it's just more corruption.
But I could split it across, so I could put the other one on Denethor or something.
Correct. Anybody can carry them. It's just usually the sage is the one that is able to use it or can align it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So Gandalf, Saruman at Minas Tirith going to Isengard.
Right.
And then from Rivendell, I want to go to a greater item site.
Correct. And those are probably going to be up around the north in Angmar, Gundabad. That's about as far as you can get, I think, for greater item sites. Or you could go...
Goblin Gate is a
major,
no.
Or as a gold ring. And the other one you could go to if you wanted to is Moria in the Redhorn Gate. That is a greater item site. It's dangerous, but...
So is there a safer one?
Well, once you start going to greater item sites, they all start to get kind of dangerous because they're going to be shadow holds or dark holds, or they're going to be in shadow lands or dark domains.
Lost Cam was in wilderness, but
right, but that was the only thing you could play there was as a greater item was Palantir. It's very limited, and that was why that site is the recommended site to get that card at, because it's a wilderness move. It's a ruins and layers. It's within reach of Rivendell, and it plays a greater Palantir.
Yeah. All right. We'll go to Moria.
All right.
So I'll get my site cards out.
Is he from Melbourne?
My wife is asking me what part of Australia you're from.
Far North Queensland.
Far North Queensland.
Inland from Cairns.
She does some international work, and so I think she knows.
Sydney and Melbourne is where
Sydney and Melbourne are.
Yeah.
She says her company has offices in Sydney and Melbourne.
Okay. I have lived in Melbourne, but many years ago.
Uh-huh.
So Moria. What was the other one? Isengard, which is in the gap of Eisen.
Right.
Is it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They were sorted funny. resources. Yep. Okay, so I'm organised.
So you played 3 cards during that organization phase. You played Denethor, you played the Friender 3, and you played Fellowship. So you're down to 5 cards. Whoever moves first is going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, but you'll draw back up at the end of that movement hazard. So that's the kind of thing I think about when I choose who's moving first. And the other thing too is, what kind of hazards has my opponent been playing, and what kind of regions am I moving through? Are they going to be keyable or not?
Yeah.
So like if I were playing lots of man hazard creatures, like the ambusher and the assassin and the slayers, those sorts, I would say that the Minas Tirith company would be seeing more man hazard creatures coming at them than the Moria company, because they're moving through wilderness only.
Right.
So not really any recommendations there, just an observation.
No. I've got a concealment in my hand, so I know I can cancel one attack against
right.
either company. They've both got a scout.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose I should be worried about going to Moria more than Isengard in general. So there's that argument. Move the dangerous one first before you've got the opportunity to pick up more cards.
Right. And plus, I don't know. Technically, I wouldn't know where you're going. You've got 2 face-down sites, both companies moving. But when one moves, I don't know where the other one's going to go.
Yep. All right. So I'll move the men, the Dunedain.
Mm-hmm.
So I reveal that I'm going.
Your son goes away. Long event.
Oh yes. Sorry. Yes.
Phase.
Yep. Well, I haven't actually clicked into the movement hazard. Yeah, I was in the long event.
You were just in long event.
So now I'm in the movement hazard. So I've revealed that they're going, and it's
triple wilderness.
So
I'll draw 3
regions. So I'm starting there.
Holland.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Yep.
So I'll draw 3.
And I'll draw 2. Oh, hang on. I've got to shuffle my deck, haven't I?
So just do this /re-deck.
/re-deck.
There you go.
So draw 1 more. I tried to drag it in. That's better.
All right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hazards. Slight ruins and lair and a triple wilderness.
I've yet to make my dragons hit, so I'm just gonna have to play this now. I'll play.
How come that Choking Shadows is up there?
Oh,
did I accidentally put that there at some stage?
Maybe. I don't remember.
I think I might have clicked on it. I'll discard it.
I'm scrolling back through. I don't see it on the...
I think it might have happened early days. Yep.
Okay.
All right, so Cave Drake.
So Cave Drake, and I'm going to go ahead and boost him +2. So you can still cancel this, but he would be 2 strikes at 12 instead of 2 at 10, and I would get to pick who he goes after.
If I don't cancel it.
If you don't cancel it, correct.
Yeah. No, I will. Yep, so I'll play Concealment, and I'll tap
your Scout.
Bergil.
And then I will discard these, and that's all I had.
Okay.
I've got to go.
So I've got to draw to 8.
All right. Good. So I say no hazards, and I'll go to my next movement hazard button, and now we can do the next company.
Okay. So I've picked up a Gates of Morning.
All right. So you can play that.
Play that.
All
right. Take Doors of Night out.
Let that go.
And I reveal
Isengard.
And its nearest is Lorien.
But you're moving from Minas Tirith, so you'll do the regions.
I'll do the par. Yeah.
Right.
So Minas Tirith and Lorien. Yep. So Lorien, Rohan, Gap of Eisen.
Mm-hmm. So we'd each draw 2. It's a Ruins and Layers. I have nothing to hit you with.
Okay. So I've got to discard 1 card. Discard that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we go into the sight phase. Now, let me see. So what was that? So I've got 2. So I've got Temoria, so that's a 4 with 7, and the Isengard is a 3 with 7, because I've got another concealment, so I could...
Oh, okay. Here's one thing that that very few people ever remember, because it rarely comes up. When a character is at his home site, he may tap to cancel an automatic attack there.
I don't even remember reading that.
Saruman is home site of Isengard. Isengard has a wolf automatic attack, so he can tap to cancel that automatic attack at his home site, and then someone else can play the other Palantir.
Oh, okay.
It rarely comes up because there are rarely characters who have home sites with automatic attacks, at least none in the base game. Once you start getting into the minion alignments, some of those characters do come in at home sites with auto attacks. But a character has to have, it has to be specific to that character. It can't be, like some of the minion characters have a home site that says any Darkhaven or any Shadowhold. But if it has a by name, you can tap and cancel the auto attack.
So that's a wizard's rule.
It sure is. Yes, it is.
Yep. Oh, so where
would that
be?
Hold on.
I'm wondering why I haven't read it.
Let me pull
Presumably it's in the combat section.
All right. Try this. I'm scrolling through the rulebook.
I'm looking through my copy. In fact, I've got 2 copies, as it turns out. I think they came with the cards when I bought them all those years ago.
I'm still looking. I know it's here.
I'll put that as homework.
Okay.
Homework for me to find it.
I'll have to look back because I know it's in there.
Yeah. Cancel auto attack. Character at his home. That'll be something for me to search for. All right, so I'll cancel.
So Saruman can tap, yeah.
And so what's the item? It's the Palantir of
Orthanc.
So I click on that. And, wow.
See, Denethor and Saruman are going to have each other's Palantirs. They've got the wrong ones. Denethor used the one from Minas Tirith, and Saruman's was the Palantir of Orthanc.
Is there an argument for putting it on Bergil because he's got a better body?
No, because Bergil has a -1 corruption check.
Yep, very good. Right. What about? Can it go on a follower?
You can put it on anybody, but I would not put it on Bergil because he does have that corruption modifier.
What about Faramir? Because he's got the better body. I was just thinking with Denethor only a 6. If he gets hurt travelling to a haven.
Right.
Okay. So I'll put it on Faramir.
Now, if a character does die carrying an item, it can be transferred to anyone who is not wounded. Even a tapped character can take an item from a dead character's body.
Well, in that case, I'll put it on Denethor because he's the sage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. Okay, so...
just click on it and transfer.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
So tap Isengard. You can discard Minas Tirith.
Yep. And tap. I know you don't tap to take an.
He does. He tapped to play the item. So Denethor should be tapped. And then over in Moria.
And I'll get 2 item points.
Yes, two for the Palantir.
Yep. And now over here.
So now over here, remember that you do have a fellowship, so everyone is +1 prowess. If it's 4 at 7, everyone would take 1. Bergil is 1 down to a 0, back up to a 1. And then what I would do is I would pick who my toughest character is. It would be either Imrahil or Baratar to try and stay untapped to play the item. So for example, Imrahil is a 5 + 1 with a fellowship is a 6. Back down to a 3 not tapping. He needs a 4 to tie the orc auto attack.
Yep. Now let me see. Can I remember what you said about the order? See if you try.
I'd let the toughest guys go first. Let the toughest guys go, or let the most likely successes roll first.
Right.
Because you want the fellowship to be out for everybody. You don't want it to fizzle off before the weaker characters have to face their strikes.
Yep. All right. So if we say that.
But here's the other trade-off is if Imrahil is your chosen character to not tap, if he fails or if he ties, if he fails, he's wounded and he won't be able to play it. So I would do my untapped character first, and then my next toughest character, and then the 2 weaker characters. That way, if the untapped character fails, you can try it again with the next untapped character.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. So I'll go Imrahil, and I'll say face attacks. Locale 5.
So he's down to a 3, not tapping, versus a 7.
Yep. Okay. So 3 versus 7.
Got it.
Oh, honey, yeah.
Yeah, but that's all you needed. So now Baratar automatically wants to go ahead and tap, because unless you have a minor item to play as a backup, you want to go through everybody facing this as cleanly as possible. He would be tapping. He would be a 6, so he would be automatic. He wouldn't need to roll.
Okay, right. So he's done. So I'll do.
So tap him. Right.
And then these other guys are both.
So they're both 1.
Bergil is slightly stronger, so he'll go next.
And he's got a better body too, so he would be the one you would want to do before Halbrad.
So So next character it cycles back up. Yep. Okay. So he's already tapped. So that puts him 0 + 1. So he's a 1.
Correct. So he needs a 6.
7.
Got it.
Oh, they're only doing it. Just that's just what you need.
That's all you need. And Halbrad will tap to do his because you don't want to suffer the -3 to the roll. So with the Fellowship, he is a 1 versus a 7 like Bergil.
Yep.
And another 6. Come on, Halbrad. Good.
Oh, he did it.
All right.
He did it easy. Okay, so Rivendell goes back into the location deck. Tap on the Palantir. Tap on Imrahil.
All right.
Tap him. Tap Moria, and it's...
and you're done facing.
What's the 5 in brackets? That's if stored at a haven. Yes, that's 3 at the moment.
Right. Another one to just drag back and put in the closet for points.
Yeah. Just a sec.
Good turn.
I'm just checking. So the aligned Palantir is Sage only.
But you don't want to play that before you're back.
You wait till you get to the haven. Yep, that's right.
Right.
Okay, so done facing. It's an end of turn phase.
Now, all right. Look at it this way. You've got 21 points. You've gone through your deck once. You can continue to score points. Moving those back, storing them, aligning them and storing them. All of those are going to score you points. Or you can think that you may be ahead too much for me to catch at this point and just call for the free council here. Up to you. Totally up to you, but just the options are there.
So I've got 7, so you'll get +4 for the faction.
Here's the thing, I'll get +4 for the faction, but the faction is my main source of points right now. I've only got 3 non-faction points. So it doesn't matter that factions double. I will only get 3 points out of them with 3 non-faction sources.
Notwithstanding that you might what you'll get on your last turn, and neither of us have got allies. So
I've got no characters.
If you pick up an ally, it'll be a double.
I've got no character points. I've got no ally points, and I've got only 3 non-faction points. So yeah, I need to factions. If I played a character, or I played a character and another item, or a character and an ally, all of that helps to make my factions worth more because they will double and they'll only be able to ever be more than up to half of my non-faction points, or up to the same as my non-faction points.
Yeah, which I only take you up to 16. So yeah. The other thing is the business of the corruption checks.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to think of that because I know what happened with my dwarves and their rings.
You remember that well, I bet.
It was very sad. But at the moment, there's no big totals.
No, those dice killed you, though, that game. That was awful.
And I have got a friend or 3 in my hand to help whichever I think is the worst one, which is really at the moment probably Imrahil with his holding a 3-pointer.
Well, here, if you look at it this way, Imrahil is holding a 3-pointer. If you move them back, if you take, you would need 2 more turns. You would need a turn to move back to the haven, and then you would need your next turn to store it. But on your next turn, you would align the Palantir and play the friend or 3 to store it without having to make any checks. So what I'm saying is you're ahead now, and you will continue to score points, but it's just up to you to decide whether you want to try and make me take my last turn now, or if you want to just keep letting the game go and keep scoring your points.
I think from a competition viewpoint, I would call it now. There's no reason to continue. Yeah.
Correct.
But I'm thinking what would we do? The game would be finished and we're only early in our session.
So yeah, it's up to you. Completely up to you.
We may as well keep playing and get some more. If you don't mind the fact
I
that
don't mind at all. No, give me a chance to maybe. The worst that I can. I mean, I can't do any worse than lose. You know, if I'm going to lose at this point, if we play longer, that's fine, and I lose then. No big deal. But if I have a chance to come back. So, all right, good. We're decided.
Okay, so I'll draw my 2 cards.
Uh-huh.
I'll go acknowledge the end of the turn, discard.
All right. I'm going to discard one and draw and say done. Well, unfortunately, no characters. But I do have a chance meeting, which is the card that lets the character be brought into play with direct influence at a freehold, a border hold, or a ruins and layers. So that could be played later on if I happen to draw a character while I'm moving. So I think... Yeah, I think we're going to go here. So Gandalf is not taking control of Beaufort right now. There's not really any reason for it. I've got 18 free general influence. So we're organized. We'll go to the movement hazard phase, and we'll make this little relatively safe move to the Welling Hall. So that's my faction. Where there's an ally there, and there's a faction there. I've got an ally. I should have said not faction. Lots of allies can be played there. So you can draw a card and a hazard limit of 2.
Right.
And I drew a character that I can play with the chance meeting, so that's good.
Okay. On guard.
All right. So you click on my site. Yeah. Then you click on your on guard card.
I did it in the wrong order. Yep.
Is that all right? You get it right?
Yep.
All right, good.
And no more hazards.
All right, so I have to discard 1. All right. Okay, and I move Lorien back to the location deck. So I'm at 8. So I go into the site phase. Gandalf.
So I click on.
If you have an on guard card that needs to reveal, you would click on possible effect, I think is the button.
And there's also a reveal on guard button.
And there's also a reveal on guard. So
what's the difference between the two? The reveal is if it's not. Oh no, I'm not sure.
The possible effect means that you acknowledge that it's not affecting the automatic attack, or it's not a creature. It may be triggered at some point later when either the play of an item, or you attempt to influence a faction, or something like that. There are other cards that can be triggered as on guard cards that don't directly affect the auto attack, or are not another creature to attack.
Okay, so in this case, I go reveal on guard because it's not. I'm not gonna. There's not a possible effect.
Okay, so you can do bluff and take it back to your hand.
Oh no, it exposed it, but it didn't give me the bluff button.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. Just drag it back to your hand.
Yeah. I'll keep doing that to work it out. The buttons. Yeah, I did it as a bluff, but I just want to learn how to do it.
Yeah, there's, like I said, depending on which of the buttons you push, it does change the options of what's left. So I don't remember. I don't play them an awful lot. I probably should play them a lot more than I do. But I'm used to just sort of letting it go through, let the game kind of run through a little quicker, and so I often don't play them. All right.
I'm sort of leaning towards that as well.
There's a definite advantage to playing them. Like I said, it lets you see all the cards that you're going to have in your hand before you have to discard one. So it draws, like playing on guard on 2 or 3 companies, different sites, lets you keep drawing back up. So you'll actually be able to go through cards a little bit quicker, and you'll also be able to see what cards to choose from before you have to discard that last card or 2 or 3. All right.
Yep.
So Gandalf is going to tap, and he's going to bring in Quick Beam, and that taps the site. So I had him in hand. So 2 ally points. And now what I was hoping could happen is actually I had that chance meeting, which is a short event, so you can play it at any time. It doesn't have to be played during the organization phase. A character can be brought into play with direct influence at any freehold, borderhold, or ruins and layers. So I'm at a freehold, and Thorin, who I added to the deck, he's an 8-minder, but he's worth 3 points. He comes in under Gandalf's direct influence and gives me another 3 character points. Now, the reason I added him and I added Glowin, and I took the weaker-minded dwarves out. When you get when you get the Dwarven Ring, there's so many points of influence that it allows you to have on a dwarf bear that it's almost wasted if you don't bring in more high-minded characters worth points.
Okay.
So Thorin's original purpose was to be controlled by the dwarf who had the Dwarven Ring, but all of my dwarves have gone away, so Gandalf brings him into play, and he counts for some of my character points. And then I go end of turn. 7, 8, end of turn, discard. So yes, so now again, because you played an on guard card, you have 9 in your hand, and you won't get to draw anymore. You'll just have to discard down to 8.
Yep.
All right. So that was a big turn for me, getting back in the game.
Yeah.
Between my character coming in and my ally coming in.
Yeah. Okay, so untap all. Now. So I want to get this aligned Palantir happening on, but it could go on either one.
Now, the one that you wanted to go on,
to move to the Haven.
You want to move the Dunedain back to the Haven, because that Palantir goes from 3 points up to 5 points when it's stored. So you're getting even more points out of the item and the aligned. So that would be the choice of which one to take back. If you have one aligned Palantir, I would play it on that.
Yep. Okay. So I'll move them back to Rivendell.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've got here. And I've got Bill the Pony.
Right.
Bree.
So he can come in
guys at
either Bree or Bag End. They're both the same distance from where you are. It's going to be. It would be 4 regions to get to the Shire, or 4 regions to get to Arthedain. which is where Bree is. Now, your faction is playable at Bree. So, if you're going to go to Bree to bring Bill the Pony in, I would only do that if you have your faction in your hand, or if you're willing to wait there until you get your faction before you play Bill the Pony. Bill the Pony can be played at a tapped or untapped site, but he will tap the site if you play him first, and then you will not be able to play the faction at Bree. The other option is go to Bag End, and then he's the only thing that you'll be doing there is playing Bill the Pony. So you go to Bag End. Don't worry about whether you draw the faction or even have the faction. Just go and play Bill the Pony at Bag End.
I think so, yeah, and hope that I pick it up soon and just.
Well, you have Bill the Pony, so he's not in your hand now, is what you're saying. You were just talking about what's in the deck.
Oh no, I've got Bill the Pony in my hand, but not the faction.
Yeah, so then I would definitely go to Bag End.
Yep. Okay.
He will playing him will remove that fellowship from them because. Oh! You're moving from Isengard,
no.
other company.
Isengard, yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, that makes even more sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So locale 11, locale 5. Now, would you believe I've picked up another fellowship, but I can't play it yet, but I will be able to when I get to Rivendell.
So yes, what I would hold on to that, and on your next turn, when you're at Rivendell, you play that second fellowship, you align the Palantir, and you store it.
Yep.
And that gives you 4 more points right there just for aligning it and storing it.
And I am going to start getting a bit higher of the item, but that's all good.
Yeah, you're doing well. If you're scoring lots of item points, the game is probably going pretty well. I wouldn't worry too much about it. How they pan out to your other points, because you've got 10 item points, but you've got 2 miscellaneous, 1 kill, 8 character. The other aligned Palantir is going to give miscellaneous points, not item points.
And Bill the Pony coming.
Bill the Pony coming in. So you're just you're working well.
All right. So I'm organised. There's no long events that I want to play. None to come off. So into the movement hazard phase.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got a concealment as a backup.
Right.
Isengard to Bag End, that's going to be Borderlands, Wilderness. So it's a double Wilderness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the other guys are going from Moria back to Rivendell, so that's also a double Wilderness. So
that'll be triple Wilderness.
Triple Wilderness, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, is a free domain. So really, as far as they're travelling, there's not much between them. But the men have got a fellowship helping them.
Right.
So they probably got that benefit. I think it's a bit of a toss-up, really.
And like you said, you've got scouts in each company, so the concealment would work either way.
Yeah, so I'll just go with the men first.
Mm-hmm.
Haven.
Okay.
So they're going. So I'll be able to do the /P.
No, we'll use Actually, you need to do the regions because it's the nearest haven for Moria is Lorien. You can get to either Rivendell or Moria. I mean Rivendell or Lorien, but Lorien is the nearest haven. So you'll need to click through specifics to get to Rivendell.
It's the Red Horn Gate. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good. And we draw for the non-haven. So you draw 2, I draw 3.
4 hazards.
I'll play a Doors of Night.
Okay, so Gates of Morning comes off.
And that's all I have.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucky.
Yeah.
So I've got to get rid of a couple things here.
Yeah, same here.
All right.
Where are you at the moment? You're at Willinghall, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that siege again.
Oh, right.
Likely.
Now I'll be leaving there.
You'll be going to another freehold or border hold.
I'll leave there before you can play it on Willinghall, so you'll have to target my next site.
So I'll get rid of that. And what else have I got? Oh no. I don't really want to get rid of anything. I've got some good hazards lined up. Okay, I'll do that one. Alright, so I'm down to 8 into the site phase. Oh, no, not into the site phase, the other movement hazard phase, sorry.
Right.
Back to movement hazard phase.
Uh-huh.
So it's with you, is it, to click on next movement hazard phase?
It's on so it did, you went back to the movement hazard phase. So now you just need to click, you need to flip your second site. Right.
Okay. So back in from Isengard, so I'll need to do the path. So Gap of Eisen, Enith Way.
There we go. And we draw 2 each.
Okay. Alright. So it's 5.
Play a Cave Drake.
Okay.
So I think you can cancel this. So I'll, that's your first choice.
Yeah, I could cancel, or I could try and get the kill points.
But because it's the Cave Drake, the attacker chooses, and I would choose your weaker characters. I would choose Denethor because of his low body, and probably Boromir as well.
And he's carrying the Orthanc, so...
Yeah, so you wouldn't want him to... Now, someone else could take it, but you don't want to lose the character point for him dying. He's worth a point to you.
Yep. That's what the concealment's there for. Yep, so I'll play that.
And that's actually all that I had, so he was smart to do that. Tap Saruman?
Taps. Yep.
Right? And I have no more hazards.
Okay, so that got rid of... That's one card I didn't have to discard. But I've got to discard something. Cannot be duplicated. Alright, that's easy. So, site phase. So nothing happens at the Haven.
Right.
So just discard.
If you wanted to, you could play that Align Palantir now, because it would get it out of your hand. There's no drawback to playing it now. You'll just wait till your next organization phase to play that second fellowship, and then you'll store the Palantir. But getting the Align Palantir out of hand now is actually a smarter card management. So click on the Align.
And I'll click on the Palantir, it says.
Click on the Palantir, right. So give yourself 2 more miscellaneous points.
Yep.
And then you can move over to your other company and get your ally.
Okay, so anyone
untapped can tap to get him. I think Faramir would be my choice.
Faramir, okay.
He's got the best body, so he's the most likely to stay alive.
Okay, yep. And so that's a 1 ally point.
1 ally point. Tap the site.
And I tap bag in. Alright, and we go into end of turn.
Right.
Phase.
And at which point you now have 6 cards. You can discard 1 and draw back up to 8, or you can just draw back up to 8. Your choice.
I'll draw back 8 and do the EOT discard.
Okay. Done.
And end of turn.
All right. Trying to decide where I want to go. I think I know. So Gandalf's got that ring, but I still haven't got my dwarven ring to turn it into anything. So we're just going to have to run around with it for a little while. So we're organized, and we're going to go from Welling Hall to Moria.
So this time I get the 3.
You get the 3, correct. And it's a shadow hold, which means trolls are most likely to be playable there. So I don't know if I've stepped into something here or not.
So what have I got? I've got a 3 hazard limit. Okay. Yep. It's a shadow hold, yeah. So I have got the Oleg High, but I can't play them as such unless I can.
Can you key them to the site?
No, only to a dark hold, not to a shadow hold. But I have got choking shadows. So that would make them keyable. Oh, and I've also got Morgul Knight, which also will do this, have the same effect.
Right. So Morgul Knight will turn my triple wilderness into triple Shadowland.
Yeah, because it's all wilderness, yeah. So the Morgul Knight would be a long event.
Right.
The Shaking Shadows is a short event. The Morgul Knight is more restricted in that Dwarves of the Night has to be in play, which it happens to be at the moment. So there might be an argument for playing that in case it disappears, and then I'd still have Choking Shadows to play at another time. But it only gets that effect at Dwarves of the Night's in play as well. All right. Okay, so I'll go with Morgul Knight. That's the first one.
Right, so now I'm moving through triple Shadowland to a Shadow Hold. You still have 2 hazards.
Yep. And I'll play the Trolls.
The Trolls. Okay, so 3 strikes at 10, which means everybody will face one. Well, actually, I have an ally in there, too.
Yeah.
So I could choose to let the ally face it. He's a little bit tougher than Beaufort, so I think I might do that. No, I think I'll go ahead. I'm sorry, I need to go into movement. I need to go into the movement hazard phase. Whoops.
What's the thing about him being he can't be attacked by hazards keyed to his sight?
He can't be attacked by hazards keyed to his sight. But he can be attacked by hazards keyed to the regions he's moving through.
So I would need to say I'm doing it on the regions, not on, because I've got a choice, I think.
The joke there.
Oh, no.
The joke there is that when he's at a site, he's a tree. He's standing still. He's a tree. He can't be attacked.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
But when he's moving, he can be attacked.
Yep. Actually, I think it has to be keyed to the region, the trolls.
Right.
Because it's only dark hold, and I haven't converted.
So I'm going to face the attack. I'm going to go ahead and say these three, my three main characters, will face. It's a 10. Bofer will tap, and he'll tap the shield. So he's up to a 5. 6, 7, 8. So he needs to roll better than a 2 to beat the strike. The worst he can do is tie it.
Yeah.
So he beats the strike. I'm sorry, I need to face the attacks.
So you use the risky blow on your weakest character. Yep.
Well, I've got a few.
Oh, very good.
He's a 5. He's going to use a lucky strike. So that's another warrior only, but he gets 2 rolls. So he needs to roll a 5 out of either of these 2 rolls. Not that one. Got it. All right. That's usually the lucky strike guarantees the first roll succeeds, and you never need to roll that second one. But in that case, I'll take it. Okay, now next character. Gandalf is going to... He's going to risky blow. I've got another one. Let me discard the first. He's going to risky blow. He would be up to a 9. I think I have to do that. I think I have to tap him. So he's automatic. He's a 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the worst that a roll of 2 would do would beat it with an 11. So I've gotten all 3 strikes. Now I need to roll the 3 body checks. So 3 body checks at 5. So I have to roll a 6 or better 3 times.
I keep forgetting that you've still got to do the body checks on him because he's got a body.
So there's 6. Yeah, well, not very many do. Nope, didn't get it. So you can discard it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so that's a pretty hard job to score those trolls.
It sure is. Yeah, that's not fun.
So that's 2 hazards.
Mm-hmm.
And for my third, here comes William.
So William can attack at the site, which means I cannot assign it to my ally Quick Beam. So what you could do is you get to choose which of my 3 tapped characters will face this, or you could let it be keyed to the region and let me choose to let Quick Beam face it. But I would not do that. I would say for you to pick one of my other characters.
So Gandalf's got a body of 9, whereas Thorin has got 3 character points and a body of 8.
Right.
So I'm thinking Thorin might be a good choice.
All right. Well, Thorin has one last trick up his sleeve. So he is a 4, but he's got another lucky strike. I figured I would let all these characters get all their fighting cards, because there's no reason to cancel when you can get these dwarves all pumped up with Durin's Axe and all of the rings and all of the other things, but I haven't really been able to get them out. But I do have lots of cards to boost their combat. So he's tapped. He's a 4. So he's a 4
so
versus 11.
So 7 to tie.
And he gets 2 rolls. So he gets it on the first. So I score 1 point out of that.
Being for William, yeah.
From William. You tap me out completely. So I'm not able to do anything.
Yeah, so that was a roadblock.
And you only kicked over 1 point. So I would have been really happy to have gotten the trolls, but the body checks are tough. All right. So I go to sight phase. Well, I got to draw back up to 8. Sight phase. Since we're not entering, I just go right into end of turn phase.
Right, so it's with me if I want to do a discard, and I'm going to discard this. Yeah, I'm going to discard the siege.
All right.
And done. That's with you, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry. My attention drifts off, and I. I'm looking at cards in my hand. I'm looking at points. I'm thinking things through, and you're waiting for me to click a button. So I apologize.
That's all right. I was thinking about what I was going to do.
All right.
All right.
So another fellowship.
Yep. So I'll play that fellowship. So I click on it to put it on somebody.
You put it on Halbrad with the other one. Yeah. So now Imrahil has a +2 to his corruption check of 5 when he needs to store that. So he needs to beat a 3. I would tap Bergil and Halbrad and make it automatic, because that will store. Yeah. That will give you another 2 item points for being stored, and his corruption will be gone.
I have got a friend of 3.
Oh, then play that. Even better. Don't even tap the other guys. Just play that and store it automatically, and do it like the last one. Score the aligned Palantir first.
So slash store.
And then the
slash score again.
And give yourself 2 more item points for having
2 extra
stored
item
it.
points.
Right.
Discard the friend of 3.
Have you drawn your faction yet?
What's that?
Have you drawn your faction?
No, unfortunately.
Well, you've still got some cards left to go, so I would say it's tempting to move a company there and hope to draw it soon, but you never know. And I always find when I do that, when I move a company in hopes of getting the card to play where they're going, that it takes forever to draw it, and I end up sitting them there for 2 or 3 turns, wasted, not getting the card I need.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll move Saruman back to a haven. So he's at Bergil, so he'll go to Rivendell.
He can go to Rivendell, right?
I don't really want to go looking for more item points, although 12 out of 26, so it's still all right. There is scope, some scope. I'm trying to remember what the faction is in this deck.
The faction is the Rangers of the North, which is at Bree.
Oh, right, okay.
Which was why you waited to play Bill the Pony at Bag End instead of Bree, because you didn't have Bree. I mean, you didn't have the faction yet. And you didn't want to tap their site with Bill the Pony.
Yeah.
So you could move both companies. You could move the Dunedain without the wizard to Bree, and you could move Saruman's company from Bag End to Rivendell, and then you would be drawing cards for both and could possibly draw the faction to play at Bree.
Yeah, sounds good. And I've got the 2 fellowships, so it's not like...
Not much is going to hurt you here.
Yeah. Okay, so sites. I want Rivendell. And Dunedain. Bree. Bree is on locale 5, yep. And Rivendell on locale 11. I've got a Gates of Morning, so may as well play that.
Sure.
Take the Doors of Night.
The Doors of Night go away. And the Morgul Knight will go away too.
I'll take it now.
Yeah, the Gates knocks that out.
Now, I'll just wait for the long event. Now, I've got a Forge. Tap arrangements prevent Heed to Wilderness.
Right.
So maybe I'll use that with Saruman because of he's the one with the orbs. So I'll tap arrange. So I'll play the forward at the end of the organisation. I've just noticed something. I don't know how I missed these things. I've got another fellowship in my hand. I must be printing them.
Play it out now. Play it out before you leave. You're still in the organisation phase.
Yes, I may as well play it on Halberd, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Those guys are going to be unbeatable.
This is crazy. Yeah, okay, so the Ford... So I need to tap a ranger.
So you have Faramir in one company and Baratar in the other. If you're moving to Bree, you don't want to tap Baratar because he's your faction getter. He's the guy that wants to bring the Rangers of the North in.
Yeah.
So I would use it on the Faramir company because your other company is already +3 prowess with the 3 fellowship.
Yep. So it's only... so Faramir is a ranger as well. So Faramir or Saruman. So Faramir is more likely to be tapping because he's got less prowess if he faces something. So I'll tap him. And I'll leave the forward out so I don't forget.
Sure.
Okay, so that's the end of the organised phase. This is an amazing for playing cards. I've now played the Sun.
Excellent.
Yep. So I've actually got only 2 cards in my hand as I go into the movement hazard. You wouldn't see that very often, would you?
Well, even better than that is the prowess on that company of 4 Dunedain running around. They have 3 fellowship on them, and then the Sun will give them another +2 each because Gates of Morning. So they're +5. Each of those characters is +5 prowess. And hazard creatures that I play are -1 to their prowess because of the Sun.
Oh, yeah. So it's effectively for hazard creatures that they're +6.
Yeah, yeah.
Bergil never looks so tough.
I've had him tougher. I had him tougher. I had him with 3. I had him with a couple of Star of High Hope. There's other environment cards that help the Dunedain that also can be duplicated. One of them can.
Okay.
And it's +2 to Dunedain, and I had 3 of them out. I had him up to a 12. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was funny. All right. So you're pretty tough over there. So we're good.
Yep. And you've got the hard dragons to play. Right. So I'm in the movement wizard. Right. So I'm going to draw lots of cards. So I think I need to draw some. I've got no protection cards, so I might move the Dunedain first.
Yeah, because nothing's going to happen to them.
For the So I reveal that card, which is Bree.
So you can use the /P for that.
I'm not supposed to discard the Haven at that stage, am I? Not till the side phase.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I know where they were leaving from. It's not a problem. So I'll draw one.
Proceed. One each. Yep.
I'll show you what I could play. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to just click it so you can see. A thief. So the thief does not hurt anyone, but if he beats them, he steals an item. He's a 15 prowess, 1 strike man hazard creature. A 15 prowess, you still can beat this and score the point very easily. Because he's down to a 14. Your your Imrahil is up to an 11. There's not even any reason to play a 15 prowess creature. So I have no hazards for you.
Right. Okay, so I'll draw back up.
And you're looking for the Rangers. There you go. See?
It's all happening for this.
It's
this
all
deck.
working. It's all working.
Oh dear, oh dear. So do you click on next movement or just?
So I click next movement hazard, and then you just flip the next card, the next site card after we've both gone back to hand size, which we have.
So I'll see something come up in the.
Oh
the
no,
chat.
I'm sorry. You just need to click on the site that's on top of bag end and turn it over.
Okay.
And now these guys have rangered or have rivered or forded. Sorry, a ranger has played ford. So I cannot key to the wilderness.
So I've got to do the path though. So
it's a /P.
I can do the /P. Yep. And it's on the.
And draw 2.
Card. 2 and 2, yep.
I'll put a corruption card on Sarm, and that's about all I've got to do.
If he's at a haven, right, which he will be. So I've got to discard. Would you believe I picked up a muster?
Yeah.
You're not surprised, are you?
Not at all.
This is just.
It works when it works. It's fun to watch it all fall into place, isn't it?
It'll make up for the times when it doesn't.
All right. Like when those dice gave up on you.
Yeah. I've only got to think back to those dwarves. The 2, I had to get 2 + 4s. Yeah, it doesn't always work.
Right.
So hang on.
So you're not going to end of turn. You're going to go into the site phase, and you're going to go ahead and bring the faction in.
Yep. So I'm at Bree. So I've got to get a +9, but I have got that muster, so I'd be.
You got the muster, so let Bergil tap.
And he's a warrior. Wow. So let's add it up. So he's +2 for his unique skill. +5. The muster is 7.
+2 on his card for bringing the Rangers in specifically. Plus another one on the Rangers for being a Dunedain. So that's 10 right there, without the roll.
Right. Okay.
Without the roll.
Yep. Okay. So I discard the muster. I score the.
Mm-hmm.
Score the
Faction.
ranges. And I tap Bree.
And tally your faction points.
Oh, yeah.
3 more.
Worth 3. And the other guys, I just discard bag end.
And the good times just keep rolling.
Just. I've got 6 hazards in my hand waiting for your turn.
Well, now would be when you would call for the council, because you've got 29 points. I've got 13 points. There's no way I'm going to catch you. You've basically stored up all of your stuff. The worst you have is Saruman has 1 final corruption check of 4 at the free council. But you have 3 other characters in the company that are untapped who can tap to support him. So he's going to be automatic. The other company has nothing, no corruption to speak of, except for Bergil, who doesn't count for any points anyway, and he's got the +3 from the 3 fellowship. So this would be the best time to say you're gonna call for the game, because there's no way that I can catch you. But I can keep going. I just will not be able to catch you.
Yep. Yeah, I think I will, because there's nothing.
Right. All right.
So I'll just draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And go end of turn. So I know I'm going to call the council. So I'll discard my son.
Yeah.
And draw 1, and then I'll go end of turn, discard.
Okay.
And what's the rule? You call it at the end of your turn?
You call it at the end of your turn. And yeah, just at the end of turn. And then that gives me 1 last turn. And I'm going to discard. I've got all my items in my hand now. I've got the Dwarven Ring. I've got the Axe. I've got the Torque of Hues. I've just got everything and nothing to go. What I need to do is split these guys up and let them each get something. Oh. Not worth it. They're not going to do that, but they'll I think
4 discards.
I have nothing else. All right, let's just roll. We'll go.
So
because I also got Balin in my hand, but I can't play him because my wizard is not at his home site or a haven. So what we'll do... let me...
Gee, I've gone through my deck fairly quickly the second time. I see it's down. I'm actually down to 9.
Yeah, all those cards. Well, there's a lot more on the table and in your discard pile. You don't have to go through so many cards the second time. They're all already in play. None of them went back into your deck. When you did your redeck, you only had like 40 cards in it.
Yep.
All right. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to leave Bofer at Moria. And I'm going to move Gandalf and Thorin to the Dimmeril Dale. So that is also in the Redhorn Gate, so it's only one region that I'm in, moving to a Ruins and Layers.
It's one card each.
One card each.
Okay. Alright, so that's not going to do anything, and so 2 hazard limit. Let me see.
Oh, can I?
Yep.
I want to put the ring. I want to put the ring on Thorin.
Yep. Okay.
Because I'm going to test it this turn, and then it's got to be on him because this is the last turn. So I would have moved. What I should have done is I should have moved that during the organization phase before they moved, and put it on from right. Gandalf to Thorin.
Yep. So what have we got? We got 1 wilderness. Okay. I'm going through all my hazards.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see what's the most effective combination.
Sure.
I've got lots of options. Okay, I'm going to play Minion Stir.
Right.
Which is going to increase the
Trolls. The orc auto attack. Right. Right.
And I'm going to play Awakened Denizens to increase the strikes at the Ruins and Layers.
So the first thing that would happen would be the Minion Stir, which would increase the strikes and prowess by 1. So instead of 1 at 6, it would go to 2 at 7, and then you would use the Awakened Denizens to double it from 2 at 7 to 4 at 7.
Yep.
Good. Because your choice, you get to choose which order those effects take. All right. So I'm gonna. So that's it for them, right? 2 hazards, Minion Stir and the Awaken. Yep. And now you can do next company, and we can go over here to Beaufort at Moria.
Okay, so they're just staying there. So they.
Yeah, he's there by himself, and again, the Minion Stir and the Awakened Denizens won't work, but the Minion Stir will also boost that orc auto attack from 4 at 7 to 5 at 8.
Play that. Play that. That can't be duplicated. I'll play Choking Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the prowess of 1 automatic attack on +2.
Mm-hmm. Well, that won't work because it's not a Ruins and Layers.
I've got confused.
Yeah, that's okay. You'd have to target the company that you're playing it on.
Oh, can I take that back?
Sure, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at a shadow hold.
So any of those trolls should probably, well, except for that one that you couldn't play before.
Here's something. Something in my hand. The Barrow White.
Yeah. Why not?
That's something we're...
So he is 1 at 12. I'm going to have to... He would be down to a 1. Yeah, see the boosters, the minion stir is already making both of these orc auto attacks too tough for me to deal with. So he's going to just have to go for that point and hope that he can kill it. So he's going to face the attack. He's a 4, and he taps the shield, so he's a 5 versus a 12. And he's looking for an 8. Nah, he tied it.
Okay. So I discard the Barrow White. And for my second hazard, in comes Bert.
There we go. Now, Bert, think about if you want to play him or not, because Bofer is not worth any points. He's already tapped, so he can't do anything at Moria. So the best that could happen to me is he could score that point, and I could get a kill point out of it. The best that could happen for you is you don't play it, because he's already been neutralized. My dwarf can do nothing, and he's worth no points. So there's no reason to even try to kill him.
Yeah, okay. Once you've tapped, yep. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll take him back then.
Take him. Yeah, he. All he could do would be to give me a point. He can't hurt my game in any way.
So I'll draw back to 8 and no hazards. Achieve the result.
So I get my one shot here at some points with this ring if I can get it into play. So instead of 1 at 6, it's up to 2 at 7, and then it's 4 at 7. And Quick Beam cannot face any because he's a tree.
He's a tree.
But he can tap to support. So what I want to do is I want Gandalf, my sage, to play Ringlore here. So you want to put all of the extra strikes on Gandalf. I want to tap Quick Beam to support Gandalf, and I want to try Gandalf untapped.
Okay.
So Gandalf, instead of 1 at 7, he faces 1 at 9.
Can you just check?
Is my math wrong?
Explain.
Okay. So here's what he's facing.
Use extra strikes. Yeah.
The auto attack, it would normally be 1 at 6.
Yeah.
It changes to 2 at 7, and then it changes to 4 at 7. So you have 2 -1s to assign. So you put both of those on Gandalf, because I want Gandalf to stay untapped. So Gandalf, instead of facing 1 at 7, he's facing 1 at 9.
And the other's just 1 at 7. Yep.
And the other is 1 at 7. Gandalf doesn't tap, but Quick Beam taps to support him. So he drops down, instead of dropping down to a 3 versus a 9, he's a 4 versus a 9, and he needs a 5.
Yep. Thanks. There's a lot in it.
Yeah, right. So 4 versus 9. Come on, Gandalf. Good.
Yep.
Okay, Thorin will just go ahead and tap. He is a 5 versus a 7, so he's automatic. He can't fail. Gandalf plays the Ringlore. Sage only, playable at sight phase where information is playable. If a character in his company has a ring, Tap the sage and the sight. And then I can change the gold ring, the precious gold ring, into the wrong version of the dwarven ring. And I think that's a glitch in the game, because I looked back at how I had it set in my deck builder, and it says it's the hero version, and I think that maybe it's just a glitch, that it's giving the wrong version, it's giving the wrong image of the card.
Because I would have thought I'm pretty sure when I sent you the text, I would have checked and changed it.
So like I said, I looked, and it does say hero, the wizards, as the version, but I think maybe just the images are mixed up on the site. So
you're gonna let him know?
I'll let him know. Yeah. So instead of being worth 4, because it's held by a dwarf, it's worth 6. So that netted me an extra 5 item points.
Ooh.
But it also gives him 5 corruption points. And Bofer really, really wanted to play either. This was my other surprise that I had in there. I'll just throw it on him so you can see it. The Arkenstone. So that is another dwarven item that gives 5 item points instead of 2 if a dwarf holds it, but it also gives 4 corruption points. So he would be in dangerous situation of failing a corruption check at the final council. But it was worth it to try to get him out, try to get that out there. I just couldn't. I couldn't keep him untapped when you played the Barrow White.
Yep.
So go. And I forgot to go into the site phase, so let me just draw back up and go to site phase and end of turn and discard, and we can make. I don't think you have to worry about any corruption checks at all over there.
Denethor's got 2. So
Denethor's got 2. So Saruman taps to support Denethor and makes his automatic. And then Denethor, Bergil, and Boromir tap to make Saruman's automatic.
4 is 4, yep.
So both of those corruption checks are automatic, and you have nothing to worry about in the other company. With the 3 fellowship, but Thorin, Thorin has a CC of 5. He made it, and that's it. That's all that I had. So you got me by, and I'm looking at. We got a little bit of all the point types. Miscellaneous don't double, which was the only category you had that I didn't. We got kill points. We got faction points, item, ally, character. So you got me.
Changes.
You got me. Good game.
Yeah.
That influencing Balin away that one turn, that was frustrating. When your wizard came and made him discard, that's always tough to recover from. And then I killed my 2 dwarves, beating them against the door at the dragon site. And then you rolled their body checks and killed them both.
Well, why did you take Annalena out?
Because I was trying to do more with dwarves, and I was trying to get more dwarf points in, and the items I had. Like I said, I had that, and I had that.
You still had,
and I had that. I had lots of items in my hand, just no way to play them. I had
just
him.
Didn't have enough characters on the table.
Yeah, you got too far ahead, and you were able to maintain the additional points to to where I could never really catch back up. I was always just keeping pace with you, and you were well ahead. So there was no way I was going to do it.
I think it reinforced the problem with those dragons. Like,
yeah.
You tried to make them more playable, but they still didn't play, did they?
Well, I was just, they didn't draw right, and it really does require about 3 cards in a row to make them play. And between the Gates of Morning and the Doors of Night bouncing back and forth, that made it tough too.